What's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs. So let's get to it. Alright, you guys. First up. Now, you guys know I don't feel like talking about no politics, but anytime we can point the finger and laugh at your president, I just can't let this moment slide. So, Donald Trump was in an interview with the Washington Examiner. He was discussing the Civil War with the interviewer, and he started to pontificate. He wanted to know, why was there a civil war? Why couldn't that one have been worked out? Now, when you listen to the interview, you can tell the interviewer was just sort of like, yeah, well, not really knowing where he was going with this, but he dug the grave a little bit deeper. I mean, had Andrew Jackson been a little later, you wouldn't have had the Civil War. He had a big heart. He was really angry that he saw what was happening with regard to the Civil War. He said, there is no reason for this. He was really trying to give it to you guys, the emotion of it, the feeling that Andrew Jackson, somebody that he really, really admires, wouldn't have wanted the Civil War to have happened. Now, I am not any historical scholar on any level, but I thought that we all knew why the Civil War had happened. The Civil War was all about slavery. And if we've learned anything from even watching Underground, the Civil War was going to happen, and it wasn't nobody that was going to stop it. It was something that had to happen to abolish slavery and bring unity to the states, to bring us to where we are today, the United States of America. Not only that, but Andrew Jackson died 16 years before the fucking Civil War even started. And if Andrew Jackson would have been alive, he probably would have been for the expansion of slavery, considering he was a very large slave owner himself. And he believed in the process and the program 100%. So the whole fact that he, Donald Trump was trying to get up there and really give it to you guys, like he really just kind of sat and thought about these things. He just made it sound like really stupid. And they have been talking about it all over the place. I mean, I've had a lot of people mention to me that they believe that Donald Trump is in the beginning stages of dementia. And I don't know if I believe that. I just believe he's stupid. He's not an educated man. He is a business person. He is somebody that came from money, who continues to have money, and he just lucked up on this presidential job. But even he said that he didn't know the job was going to be this hard, that his former life was much easier than this one that he's in now. I mean, common sense would tell you that running a country is not easy. I just think he's stupid. But, I mean, it could be dementia. I guess time will tell. But he is definitely, he's just... He's all over the place, baby. Like, Dan Rue and the other guy says. I mean, I guess you can forget certain things in history as you get older because you're not in school and you don't hear about these things anymore. But I would just think that as a president that you would have some sort of historical, just the basics of history in mind so that you don't get on TV or interview and make a goddamn fool of yourself. Why couldn't that one be worked out? Oh, gosh, the Civil War. So what you guys have done is put somebody that is totally ignorant to the United States history in the most powerful seat in the world. Child, I guess. I love it, though. That damn Donald Trump is a fool. Just entertainment. Guys, let's talk about Ja Rule and this Fyre Festival. It was to be a 2-weekend elite event that was going to take place in Norman's Key out in the Bahamas. They said that it was a musical festival in the same vein as Coachella, where they would have all these artists come out and perform, and only those who could afford it could come. It was the whole you can't sit with us mentality here. They were going to have luxury tents. They were going to have gourmet foods, the best of wines and alcohol there. And like I said, all of the elite, the who's who, would be able to purchase these tickets that ranged from $2,500 to what many of the investors gave, topping out at $400,000, which they said was Kendall Jenner invested that. They also said one of the Hadid girls gave somewhere around $100,000. Anyway, they had people spending all their money to go out here to this key, party for 2 weekends in these luxury tents directly in on the beach, and listen to their favorite performers. It was supposed to be Blink 182. It was supposed to be the Migos. It was supposed to be Major Lazer, and there was some other people that were performing. So it was supposed to be this big old thing. And then we had Ja Rule and Bill McFarlane. They were the ones who were throwing this. Now, they've had no experience in throwing a festival of this type. They had the vision, they had the idea, and they went along with it. 5 days before the event was supposed to take place, there was a huge storm there, and it blew these luxury tents all over the place. It got the bedding all wet, and it knocked out the plumbing system. Did I mention that this island that they decided to have this festival on did not even have running water there? They had to install their own sewage system so that when people arrived, that they'd be able to, wash up and take a bath and use the bathroom. Anyway, when the storm happened, it knocked out the sewage system. It blew all the tents and everything all over the place. And as the guests started to arrive, they arrived to chaos. Okay, now I didn't spend my $2,500, about $4,000 damn dollars. Those were the average seats. Not seats. Those were the average prices of the tickets. And they got out there and they said it was in some old third world Hunger Games type of, shit going down. They were arriving on chartered planes. Everything was blown all over the place and wet. Like I said, that they had food in styrofoam boxes, just some plain cheese sandwiches. Their luggage was brought over in a container, like how you see when the ships are bringing those containers over. All of their luggage was in there, and they just threw their luggage out onto the beach for people to just find what was theirs. By the time nightfall came, people were running around. They were looting. Folks were panicking because they could not get off of this island. They had stopped the flights from Miami. Once they realized that the shit was going on on the island, they stopped the flights from Miami. So nobody could get there and nobody could get off. So these people were stuck on this island, people running around robbing them, and no food and no running water, and can't use the just truly a mess. They said them damn tents look like FEMA. That shit was never gonna be luxury like they said it was gonna be. Now, when you read the articles that are on the internet with people who have put on the likes of a Coachella or a Made in America Fest or something along those lines, they say that McFarlane and Ja Rule should have known from the beginning that they couldn't do this. This is an event that you cannot just pull off when you don't have any type of experience. First of all, you have never promoted something like this. Secondly, you are on an island that has no fucking sewage system. Thirdly, there was no way that they were going to be able to make good on the promises that they made. Even with, they say, the money that they spent, somewhere around $10 to $25 million, it still was not enough to pull off a feat this large. And now that all this has happened, now that the people have gotten off of the island and made it back home safely, there are a couple of class action suits, and probably will be more to come, somewhere in the amounts of $100 million, where people are suing them for what happened. They're saying that contractors were not paid. McFarlane was very rude to the people who just wanted to know answers while they were there. It's just a whole bunch of full of fucking niggotry on an elite level. But it's funny because all these people spend all of this money to go and party somewhere, and then you can just kind of look at it and be like, we can't sit with you. We don't want to sit with you out there in the fucking rain, in the fucking jungle. I'm sure that the people that were lined up to entertain are glad that they pulled out, because once they realized that folks were arriving there and were complaining about the conditions there, Blink 182 was the first to pull out, and then everybody followed suit. The lawsuits are saying that it was a get-rich-quick scheme. Well, I don't even know how they're going to pay that back. They're saying that they don't even believe that they had insurance. They were not even bonded for something like this. Even I know that when you give an event of that size, that you have to get insurance, because anything could happen. And then you got to pay for it out of your own damn pocket. And that looks like that's where these two might be headed, this is bad, such bad press for Ja Rule. Of course, 50 Cent couldn't resist teasing him. Too bad, because I like Ja Rule, but yeah, you can't do these kind of things. You have absolutely no experience, okay? Ja Rule says it's not his fault. I'm hearing more of my McFarlane's name more than I'm hearing Ja Rule, but look, they both was the ones that was promoting it. Looks like they both gonna go down for it. Was y'all out there? Anybody y'all know that went to Fyre Festival? If any of the Roxstars did know, let me know how it was. Guys, so Joe Budden's old mean ass. You guys know that Joe Budden has this podcast. It's called Everyday Struggle. And, you know, because Joe Budden has history as a battle rapper, a well-respected battle rapper, we do know of his one hit, Pump It Up. I don't even know if he even wants people to know that that's his song, because it was such a radio, you know, it was a crossover success that maybe he doesn't respect that song. Anyway, we have grown to listen to Joe Budden in his podcasts and many times agree with the things that he says. But then there are other times when I feel like Joe Budden kind of... I mean, he's very much opinionated, and he's welcome to be that way on his own show. But you sometimes get the feeling that Joe Budden believes that is his way or no way. Okay, his way or the highway, that he is the only one right, and that he is the authority on all subjects hip-hop. Now, with that being said, on his show, he had Lil Yachty on there. They were discussing what his 5-year plan was. Lil Yachty could not tell him exactly what he planned to do in these next 5 years, and Joe Budden was getting frustrated with him because he feels that the new artists of today don't take shit seriously, and that they don't have a plan for their lives, and that they could be here today, gone tomorrow, and, you know, he just was upset about it. He feels like they need to be more aware. And he preached on and on to this kid, shit that you probably didn't even want to hear when you was Lil Yachty's age. What, he's 19 years old? Let me tell you guys something about getting older. When you get older, you have experienced life. I am not the same person that I was when I was 19, 20 years old. As you get older, you experience things, you gain knowledge from those things, try not to make mistakes from the things that you experienced. And then when you get to my age, you try to warn the young people, the next generation, of the pitfalls that you hit in preparation of getting them ready to possibly avoid those pitfalls. But everybody has a life to live, and everybody has to learn on their own, so we can warn you about it, but we ain't got to stuff it down your throat and make you think that only what we say is what happens. As a mother, I try to prepare my children every day. I tell them what happened to me when I was their age in certain situations, but then I also realize that they have got to figure it out for themselves. I can only warn you, and that's it. Joe Budden strikes me as a type that when he has kids, he is going to make his kids think that his way is the only way that it happens. This is what it is, and you better believe it, goddammit, because you stupid and you young, you don't know no fucking better. When it comes to this whole thing with hip-hop music, listen, I'm not no big fan of the music today either. I mean, there is some good music out there, but the Lil Yachty's of the world, that is not my choice of music either. But hey, times change. I can remember my parents saying the same fucking thing about the music that I listened to when I was young. They didn't understand it. They didn't like it. Now that I am a full-grown adult, I'm not digging some of the music that's put out there, but what can I do about it? These kids like what they like. Everything evolves. Hip-hop is not going to stay the same. And that's not just with hip-hop. That's with everything. So when you get these old people like around my age that get into this thing where they want shit to stay the way they was when we was, you know, that's when you get this kind of confrontation between Joe Budden and Lil Yachty. Why the fuck are you mad at this boy for saying that he's happy all the time? Now, you and I know Joe Budden, that as life goes on and he has some failures in his life and some disappointments in his life, that he won't be happy every day. But when you're fucking 19 years old, okay, you are making the kind of money that Lil Yachty is making right now. Okay, he was at the Met Gala just the other day. When you don't have much responsibilities, I don't believe he has any kids. People are digging his music. People are liking what he's doing. Why can't the boy be happy every day? Let him be happy every day. Life will sully him soon enough. I can understand why Joe Budden was so mad that he would say something like that. I mean, sure, granted, the shit that he said that makes him happy was materialistic. But he's a kid. What do you think makes my kids happy at 16 and 18 years old? When they have some money, when they're able to buy what they want to buy, when they can go and hang out with their friends. I would imagine that that's the mindset of a child that's 19 fucking years old. All right? I'm not going to be telling Joe and Jada, you know, I mean, I do tell them, you guys need to save your money and all that, but if they want to fucking spend all their goddamn money right now, go on and spend your money. You're going to learn soon enough that you spend the money, you can't do the shit that you want to do. So I can't understand why Joe Budden was so mad at him. I think that Lil Yachty eventually just got to the point where he didn't even want to indulge Joe Budden any longer, and it was making Joe Budden madder because then he was feeling disrespected. But you don't never want to become that dude. You don't want to become that old person that cannot let these kids be kids, let them grow up. Okay, let them learn life on their own. Okay, gently guide them. But, you know, I don't never want to be that preachy type of old person that doesn't understand that everything changes. And I'm sure that my kids, when they get to be my age, will not understand the music that they kids listen to. Nobody is saying that Lil Yachty is going to stay happy for the whole rest of his entire life. He may. He just may be one of those kind. But the more realistic approach is let the boy be happy right now. I just don't understand why Joe Budden was so mad. He just kind of just seemed like one of them old grumpy ass, you know, Grinch that stole hip hop. I can't with Joe Budden. Lil Yachty ain't my cup of tea, but if the boy is living his life and ain't hurting no damn body, I don't see no problem with it. That's all I got to say. So if you guys noticed that Joseline has been on The Real hosting for a second time this week, you know that she was on there hosting a few weeks ago. Well, actually, I think it was a month or two ago. And evidently her numbers were really high when she was on the show. I wasn't quite sure how the audience was going to accept Joseline, but they loved her, and they loved her enough to bring her back this second time. I don't know if any of the other reality stars that they have had on their hosting has been brought back a second time for a whole week. It'll be very interesting to see if they actually pick up Joseline, because to me, these shows need a permanent person. I don't like the whole idea of bringing somebody in for a week or a couple of days or something. It's just too much changing and moving parts for me. I like shit. I like stability. I am a Capricorn. I was happy for Ryan Seacrest when he said he was going. I said, that fucking Ryan Seacrest is making so much money. Oh my God. Now he's on the show with Kelly. But I think that they need to get a permanent person in there. And I don't watch the show, but I follow Joseline. And yeah, it's looking like people really do like the fact that she's on there. She is not much like a Tamar. People say that she's like Tamar, but she's really not like Tamar. She's outspoken pretty much like Tamar, but her subject matter and Tamar's subject matter is a little bit different. But Joseline is a likable person, even with all of her ratchetness, even with all of her rough edges, even with her not being, you know, brought up with much, what's the word that I'm looking for? You guys know what I'm talking about, though. I feel like Joseline is really dedicated into trying to change her image. Started with this baby. Right now, it looks like it's working. I see her on her Instagram. I see her pictures that she's taken, the clothes that she's wearing. She has just stepped it up a little bit. Actually, she stepped it up quite a bit. And I told you guys in my Love and Hip Hop video that I like Joseline best when she's not in this whole baddest bitch, everybody hates me, okay, the streets of Atlanta is talking mode. Because there's way more to life than that, okay? Nobody gives a fuck about any of that kind of stuff. So now that she's more relatable and that she's on this show and she looked like she's about to be about her money, she's trying to do this fitness thing, she's doing this hosting for The Real, you know, she's trying to change over on the show. I think it's a great look for Joseline, and she looks beautiful. if you guys go on her Instagram and look at some of her recent pictures, like promo shots for the show. Somebody in my comments on the Love and Hip Hop video says, oh, now all of a sudden you guys all feeling Joseline, and you saying that she's humanized and all of that. First of all, I never understand why people just don't want somebody to change. Okay, you want them to change, and then when they change, then you are sarcastic or have a problem with the fact that they are trying to change. Like, you want them to stay stuck in this place, even though you say that you want them to. Okay, I never said that I didn't like Joseline. I have told you guys plenty of time that Joseline is my girl. Joseline has done some fucked up ass shit, said some terrible things that probably, if I was Mimi, I probably would not forgive her. All right, but I'm not Mimi. I'm not in their family. I ain't in their shit. Like, I'm just one of these people that have liked her, who have liked seeing the fact that she has grown, disapproved of some of the shit that she's done, but am willing to give the girl a chance to grow. I'm not one of those ones that's fair weather. If I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you, but I'll give you a chance to try to correct that. But I've always liked Joseline. Always have liked Joseline. So, good for her. What do you guys think? Do you think that they would be making a great choice of putting Joseline on that show? For those of you guys who actually watch the show, because like I said, I don't watch it and I have not seen her there, but I've seen the little clips. And from the clips that I've seen, it did make me giggle a little bit. Y'all put your opinions about it down in the comment section and let me know how Joseline is doing on the show. Do you believe it still, or do you think that it's an act? The more that we see Joseline doing things outside of Love and Hip Hop, I think we can agree that the change is in motion. Sure where all this Tupac talk is coming from. It might be because the movie is about to come out, all right, and with the publicity and the promotions and kind of everybody trying to jump on the back of the movie, folks are starting to really talk a lot about Tupac. Most of it not in a positive way. Now, first we had Troy Avenue and Boosie. Okay, Troy said he was gonna name his album a New Pac. And Boosie Badass said he gonna name his next album Tupac, because they both believe that they are the newest embodiment of Tupac, that their way of rapping and their style of living is, in direct line with how Tupac lived, and nobody else kind of compares. I had noticed that Troy Avenue was going around posting all kind of shit, kind of trying to compare his life to Tupac. The fact that Tupac had been shot all them times and he had been shot and all that. And I was reading that and I was just like, okay, first the fuck off. This whole talk about Tupac being a gangster. I don't think that even Tupac would have claimed that he was a gangster. Tupac was just Tupac. It was just how he lived his life. I think the gangster connotation came along when he got out of jail and when he hooked up with Suge Knight. And that was kind of where that whole gangster talk came in. But Tupac before that had a way more colorful and involved life. And it was not all about being no damn gangster. Now, I wouldn't say that Tupac was scary. Tupac was definitely out there in them streets like that, but I don't even think that he would have called his own self a gangster. Okay, he was just who he was. But what bothers me about them saying that he's like them or they're like him or whatever is the fact that they're not taking into account that Tupac was way more than just street Tupac. Okay, he was a social activist. He was all about black pride, and it wasn't always about this whole thug life and gangsters and being with Death Row and the Bloods and the Crips and all that. I mean, people don't even realize that Tupac was responsible for a gang truce in LA, okay, between the Bloods and the Crips. So there's way more to Tupac, and it's unfortunate that these younger rappers today don't realize that there's more to Tupac than just the fact that he was, this gangster that was hanging around with Suge Knight and all of them. It was way more to him. So it's like offensive that they even would compare themselves to him. Nobody is saying that he was a god, but the fact that you don't understand all of what Tupac is, and I don't even understand why they don't know that, because there is thousands of documentaries and writings and things about Tupac that we know. All you guys pick out is the fact that he was this was gangster for some couple of years while he was with Death Row. Like, this is stupid. So that part is annoying. And then we get on to this whole thing with Wack 100 and Flex. Now, first of all, like I just said, I wouldn't have called Tupac a gangster either. Wack 100 was saying that, but I felt like he was being disrespectful and trying to make it seem like he was sort of like this poot butt, like this pushover, like this nigga that just kind of latched on to the gangsters and let them fight his battles, and that he was sort of scared in the background. And Tupac, by all accounts, everybody knows that he was not scared. I fully believe that Tupac would have been the way that he was if it was just him, if it was with him and a couple of people, or if it was him and a group of people, because that's just how he was. Okay, so for Wack 100 to be like, you know, he was just like that when he was with the homies, and you know, he wasn't even about this life and da-da-da. Yeah, that's all true. He was not about that life, but he could be a part of it if he wanted to. It's funny because they all accepted him in that life when they was all, you know, eating and drinking up off of him. But now that he's dead and gone, okay, now everybody kind of want to make it seem, not everybody, but just these stupid asses want to make it seem like, you know, Tupac was this. It's frustrating. It is frustrating because I'm a fan of Tupac. I have seen and read about the things that he accomplished just like a lot of other people. So it's just like, you really trying to come out here speaking out the fucking side of your neck about Tupac? A man that is dead can't even speak back for himself. You wouldn't have been saying this shit if he was alive. I know that much. And then we got Flex, who on a live Instagram feed the other day says that Tupac shot his own self. Okay, so back at the Quad City studios, you know, the whole story about Jimmy Henchman setting him up. Biggie and Puffy was in the building, but in a different location, and Pac had come to the building and he got ambushed. They shot him 5 times. They stole his jewelry. They robbed him and all of that. Okay, so we all know that story. Now, I did not know, because once you start investigating and researching on the internet, that there are a lot of people that said that he shot himself the first time. The first gunshot wound was probably self-inflicted. When he pulled out his gun, the gun went off and shot him in his leg. Okay, so there are stories about that evidently has been going around for a while. I did not know that, but when you, like I said, when you read up on the internet, that story has been out there. But my problem with Flex is for him to get on his Instagram and again make it seem like Tupac is like this poop butt who, you know, came there and accidentally shot himself. He compared him to Cheddar Bob from Eminem's movie 8 Mile. You guys remember when he shot himself? I mean, just total disrespect. I mean, even if he shot himself that one time, where the other fucking 4 bullets come from? They obviously was trying to get to him. And I would imagine the motherfucker would be scared if you got all these niggas that's coming towards you and about to do something to you, you know, beat you up, take your damn jewelry, and possibly kill you. So Again, I think it's disrespectful for Flex because it wasn't in the context of him just trying to say that, hey, you know, shit was wild, he was nervous, he shot himself, you know, and then it went down. He was just making it seem like the nigga stupid, he can't even handle a gun. Okay, he shot his own fucking self. It's just unfortunate that there's no respect for Tupac. And I feel like people are just kind of jumping on this bandwagon and talking about him bad right now because he's not around to defend himself. And we all know that Tupac, like even right now, I'm talking about it. We all know that it's going to get people talking if we say something negative about Tupac. And that brings more hits to his show and more, you know, so it's all this whole... it's just so frustrating. And then Wack decided to come back out and, you know, try to backpedal a little bit and say, no, he wasn't trying to say that he was like this buster. He was just trying to say that, you know, he was a revolutionary type. Yeah, nigga, we already knew that. We didn't need your ass coming out here trying to say nothing about what he was and wasn't. Okay, was Wack even around when Tupac was around? Okay, are you just going by stories too? So... I know I done got on my soapbox on that one, but child, I've been reading up on that shit all week and it has bothered me because it's unnecessary. Let this man rest in peace. Let people be fans of his music and of his work and the things that he did and, you know, be wistful for the shit that he could have accomplished had he not been killed. Okay? Let people have that. Why are you trying to take the shine away from a dead person? Because nobody respects your ass as a motherfucking live person. That's why. I'm gonna get off of it, child, because I done talked about this shit for 10 minutes. I'm gonna have to try to edit it down, bring it down a little bit. Like my old pastor used to, when we would be singing too long in the choir, he just would hand his hand up like this, like, enough. Yeah, we gonna let Tupac continue to rest in peace. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I will definitely be there. Hopefully it will do huge numbers like Straight Outta Compton did. It is a story that needs to be told, and maybe some people will put more respect on his damn name. Evidently, there is 2 Xscape biopics or biopics that are on the way. One that is going to be brought to you by JD, Jermaine Dupri, and Carlos King on TV1 in a documentary style. And then one that I imagine would be an actual movie, much like the New Edition movie was done, with Mona Scott Young and the actual group Xscape. Okay, so one is authorized, the other one is somewhat unauthorized. Now, I talked about this before in the Real Housewives of Atlanta videos. One of the reasons why Kandi and Todd fell out with Carlos King was because Carlos King was already getting information and getting footage for this documentary unbeknownst to them, kind of on the sly. And he had actually interviewed Joyce, Kandi's mom, for this documentary, and did not let Kandi know that that's what it was for. Okay, so he had been hooked up with Jermaine Dupri and was doing this, and they were trying to get this shit together for TV1. Which to me is like, why is TV1 doing it again? They just did an unsung. I mean, I guess this will go much deeper, but I didn't understand. So Kandi and Todd pulled away from Carlos King. That was the reason why there was a big blow up there. And, you know, I just think that shit is kind of shady. Jermaine Dupri, I guess there's bad blood with Kandi Buress and, you know, maybe some of the other girls in the group. But I just feel like, why did he do that? Like, it seemed like they would have all been able to kind of sit down and talk and make sure that this shit was done right, and had everybody involved the right way. But trying to do it behind their back, I feel like that shit was wrong. So Kandi and them have put out a statement that they have nothing to do with Jermaine Dupri's version, that they are putting their own version out. You can expect that to be way more accurate and reflect what really happened in their lives. So it's too bad. They say that Kandi's, you know, Xscape and Mona Scott Young's version is going to be on BET. And hopefully, with the success of New Edition and how well they did there, that, you know, the same type of money and quality is put into the Xscape biopic. Now, they're saying, though, that Jermaine Dupri owns the rights to the music. Now, we done seen fucking biopics or biopics when the music is not right. Okay, think about Aaliyah's movie. Remember how horrible that was? Now, I don't really know how Xscape is going to do this. He didn't say that he wouldn't allow them to keep the music in it. It's just that he has the rights to it, so he is probably going to charge them. I mean, it's going to be a mess, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, there's 2 Xscape biopics. Just when you didn't think you wanted one of them motherfuckers, now we got 2. And then lastly, in quickies, you guys, Benzino. What the fuck is this? This motherfucker eating ass on the goddamn internet. He is so nasty. Like, when you look at Benzino, you can tell that he a nasty motherfucker, okay? He like one of them pornos that you see. His shit is low budget. The nigga is ugly, but he got a big ass dick. He got dirty fucking socks, nothing else. He fucking somebody on this old nasty ass mattress that's soiled, ain't got no goddamn sheets on it. Okay, that's what you see when you look at Benzino. I thought that Benzino and Althea had broken up. For 1 minute, we was getting them all the damn time, and then they were really quiet. So I thought maybe they had broken up and everybody had moved on with their life, but no. Evidently, he was still with her, and he had the nerve to have a fucking side chick. And the side chick, I'm not sure if the side chick put these pictures out or if Althea put these pictures out, but it's just all these pictures of Benzino just like eating ass, you know, fucking her in the kitchen while she's cooking, you know, doing all kind of stuff. And I was just like, he's so gross to me. I will never forget that video of him actually eating somebody's ass in a tub, and the water was like, I mean, the water probably was cloudy because it was soap and shit in there. But it was just like, it was such a nasty scene. You know, the water looked all dirty and shit. I was like, did the motherfucker clean their cells off and then decide to have sex? Doing too much. But I guess it's pictures out, and you know, him and Althea and the girl arguing back and forth with some bullshit. Who out there fucking Benzino? As far as the side chick, you know, telling, I never have respect for the side chick, because if your ass was a side chick and you wanted to be sneaking around all this other time, don't be coming out and wanting to, you know, air the business now that shit done went bad. Now you want to go tell his main chick about it. No respect for old telling ass side chick either. You want it to be a secret, your ass stay a fucking secret. I can't with Benzino and his hoes. This PSA that Janet put out, somebody said, what the hell is she whispering about? Listen, she don't really whisper. It's more of a just like a baby talk. You know, she laid down and she was just like, hi everybody, this is Jan. I just wanted to tell you that, yes, I am going through a divorce. And we're in court and it's in God's hands. But I'm about to go on tour again. So all you motherfuckers out there that bought tickets before, I don't know what exactly happens to the postponed tour, but she's acting like this is a brand new tour that she's going to start in September. All of you guys that bought tickets to go see Janet Jackson, then it got canceled, did you get your money back? Because I just saw that there is a class action suit about some people feeling like Live Nation didn't give their money back. I think Ticketmaster gave money back, but if you bought it through Live Nation, they did not. So I don't know. You know, Janet's a little fluffy right now, but that is to be expected. She just had a baby. I bet you she will be back in shape by September for sure. Because now she's got something to prove. Now she got her baby. She ain't got her man no more. You know, now she got to make it happen. She wasn't able to give y'all what she really wanted to last time because she had all that shit on. Okay, she was covered up from head to toe. Okay, you couldn't even see her fucking face because she had all that hair in. So now you best believe Janet is about to bring it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be, you know, for the extreme Janet Jackson fans out there, I'm sure it will definitely be worth the money. I just want to know what happened to the other damn tickets. TLC's new song with Snoop. Oh, I didn't write down the name of it. I like it. It's cool. It's definitely TLC type of music. You know, I'm not in no big hurry to get TLC's album, but I will give it a listen. I felt the same way with Mary J. Blige's album. I was not in no big hurry to get it. Mary J. Blige's album is much better than I thought it would be. Not 100% back to old Mary, but definitely better than the Mary that we've been getting these last couple of albums. So I'll listen to it, and I will listen to it some more. I enjoy it. There are some songs on there that are bona fide jams, and then there's other ones on there as you keep on going, you know, further and further into the playlist. You just sort of be like, okay. Definitely about her life right now, all about her marriage and the breakup and all of that. And I guess it probably was good for her to get those emotions out on this album so she can move forward in her life. But Mary gonna be all right, y'all. Mary gonna be all right. And then lastly, congratulations are in order to Sierra and Russell Wilson. Okay, they have gave birth to a bouncing baby girl by the name of Sienna Princess Russell. Okay, I'm wondering if they're gonna have any more kids. Doesn't he have other kids too, or does he have? I think he has other kids too. But Sierra strikes me as the type that might want maybe one more with him just to seal the deal. I'm sure she's a beautiful baby. We'll see soon enough what she looks like. Congratulations to the happy couple. Alright, you guys, let me get off of here. I gotta take Jada to the damn orthodontist. She is texting me like a crazy person, so I need to hurry up and get there and get to her appointment, you guys. We do this every single week. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.